Good day and welcome back. So finally got an opportunity to get some time in on the Corsair. I have a puppy who wants to spend time like on the video right now. You don't need to. You don't need to, baby girl. Anyway, say hi, Zor. Zor says hi to the people. All right, let's try this again. So getting some time onto the Corsair. Little bit of frustration with the transfers and a couple other things, but so far really enjoying it. I pretty much got through to the fuselage. So let's just go ahead and take a look and see what we got done. Well, I've gotten through the cockpit and I can already tell I'm going to get really frustrated really quickly. You can kind of tell the decals transfers are not really laying down well. I've already hit this thing like 4 times with Mark Fit. I'm going to hit it again. We're going to keep hitting it. Hopefully that will help, but you can kind of see they're Tamiya decals or Tamiya transfers. They just do not want to go down. I really do not want to go get more. I don't want to get aftermarket, so I'm not going to. I'm going to go with these and just see how much more I can get done. I did go with the transfer seatbelts. I can see that needs to get folded over again, or hit and then folded over. So you can see, that's taking some effort. We did do chipping. Didn't really go crazy, right? But I did put some on. The next thing I do want to do is I've got to touch up here around the cushion, then hit with a bit of wash. Excuse me, a bit of a wash inside there to bring that detail out, and then we'll drop these guys in together. It's like that's pretty much how that all goes together. But I like to be, man, my fingers are just fumbly today. I wanted to be able to get to where these parts were and really want to get this settled in before I put this on, because it's hard to get at the transfer layer and press down on it with the Q-tip while that's there. And I also want to do a little bit of dry brushing on these just to bring up a little more of the upper detail on that. So that's where we are with that. The engine did put a little bit of detail here. I just put that one wire on there, and I started to look at other wires I could put in, and I may still go at putting some more wiring in, but the reality is, how do I put this? I don't have a lot of wire. That's the gauge that I need for something this small. It would really help if I didn't have my fingers and I was actually looking at my screen and not off to the side while I think. But we still have that. I did add the interest at those plates where those are. Now I've seen there's also some operating mechanisms that can go in here. I am going to go ahead and put those in, and that'll give me something to do on that and add a little bit of interest behind that cowl, so that when that's sitting here, right, you'll be able to see that little bit of interest in through there when you're looking. There's not going to be much, but it is what it is. So more to come. I will get more onto this, and yeah, we'll keep going. Oh goodness, I don't even know where to pick up from this last cut. I did this, I don't know, like a week ago. Work for me has been absolutely outrageous. So I got this far. I've not done down to step 5, but I have done to step 4, which is putting the fuselage together and putting this piece in the cockpit and etc. And what I do need to do is I need to go back and finish. I think I've got most of these seams sanded down. We will need to go back, and I did redo those. You can see I started putting in No, you can't because I'm not focused. There we go. Now I'm focused. You can see I started putting in rivets. And you can see on this side I have not. So this is one of the things I want to do. And I want to go back and find where on these panels I need to add more rivets. Because rivets are sort of the thing. And Plasmo, David, did a kit like this, and really called out how the rivets call out and highlight the detail on this. So I got this far, cleaned up some of this. The cockpit is okay. Let me see if I can get a light, right? Cockpit's okay. And for what I'm going to see with it, I'm going to not have it open. Maybe I'll have it open. Who knows? That'll be future me's decision. But I did go back and sand down most of these seams. I think what I need to do finally is hit it with primer to find out just how much of that is still seam and how much of that is not visible. So the next step is to put on this, and then it calls for the front half. So I don't have the front half put on or in such a way that I'm thinking, as I look at how this goes together, I'm starting to think that perhaps the right thing to do is paint it with this off. So paint this piece, paint the whole of the fuselage, then drop this guy on, right? Because then that's where those mechanical parts go. Slide this guy in, right? And I'm thinking that's the right answer, to go ahead and get these painted separately and make this like among the last parts of putting it together, because then you can get in and do the weathering. So, but that's how I'm going to handle it for now. I mean, until I change my mind in 5 minutes. So next step is looking at doing these two pieces. And then we get into, I mean, we're actually kind of close, right? We're pretty close to done. Seriously. If you look at what's left to do, we have the flaps that go on the back. We have the landing gear doors. We have the landing gear and these details here. And I'm starting to think that as we look at this, and remember, I'm doing this with the wings folded. So basically, I'm starting to think about this as assembly sections. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to get that part. I'm going to get this part done, which is really going to be just this and this. And then, which I do have, by the way. Where is he? There he is. There we go. So I have this guy done, right? So it's basically drop this bad boy in here. Get him on. So I get this guy put on. Put the tail vanes on. Then we get over to here. All right, so we'll get on to that. I apologize. I have a feeling this is going to be like incredibly disjointed I have just been absolutely insane with work. So it's just been, I haven't touched this thing in like a week and a half, and I have no idea what I've even recorded. So we'll go ahead, we'll get to this, and then we'll move on to the next. So let's see what we got. The other bit of detail I didn't mention was this. I did put these, they're just really just pieces of scrap, but what they are, they do have the appearance of little actuators in there, so that when this is on the front, you can see just a little more detail, right? Again, still the idea from Plasmo. And this as well. So in the front of the cowling, I did, again, stealing from Plasmo because it was a great idea, added a bit of interest to show the rib and support detail. Is it accurate or is it perfect? No, but it does, when you put this together, adds a little more interest in there. So I feel like that helps. So moving on. And I have gotten now the main wing set put on and the tailplane. And when I said I was almost done, what I meant to say, or when I said we're almost done, I'm actually almost done with this section. So there's the way I'm going to have to put these all together are in the sub builds, because trying to do the painting and weathering on this with the wings folded up in here is going to be a pain. So I think I mentioned this before. This looks like this is going to be easier to do with that off, right? So paint that up, then put that on after. So this will be painted. This will be painted. We do need to come back and put together the underside here and these pieces, and then that way we can get all that squared away. So moving on to the next steps, where we are done with step 5. Time to move on to step 6, which is the landing gear and then these flaps. So I figure we want to get these put in, because otherwise I'm just going to get them all confused. And I really need to start thinking about painting, because that's confusing me. I'm going to get confused quickly. So go ahead and get started on these things, and then we'll move on. All right, so we'll go ahead and end that video here. We've got that far, and hopefully this week I'll be able to get some more time down on the bench. But as it is right now, somebody wants to get her opportunity to go outside, so we're going to go take care of that. I hope this was useful and entertaining and you enjoyed it. And so until next time, happy modeling, everyone.